In the immortal words of Mr. Cub Ernie Banks, let's play two. It's a makeup doubleheader. The Cubs and the Dodgers were rained out last night, so we'll play game one here at straight up noon, and game two, the regularly scheduled contest, later on this evening. Great to have you with us today. Weather holding up for now. Jim DeShays and Len Casper with you. Cubs and Dodgers will play a three-game series here over the next 28 hours or so, and two of the hotter teams in the National League.
The Dodgers have really turned their season around after a sluggish start. They've won 21 of their last 28. We'll narrow our focus a little bit and take a look at June. Boom, the Dodgers 11-3. How are they getting it done? Well, they're scoring almost 7 runs per game, a lot of home runs, 34 long ones for the Dodgers during this stretch. The pitching has been good, if not spectacular. For the Cubs, they're 10-5 here in June, not scoring a ton of runs, but the pitching has been outstanding.
And the Cubs, even though they did not play last night, jumped into a first-place tie as the Brewers lost in Pittsburgh. It'll be Kenta Maeda, a right-hander for the Dodgers. Tyler Chatwood, who's used to facing the Dodgers as a former Rocky, will go for the Cubs today. Tonight, by the way, lefties Rich Hill and Mike Montgomery. First things first, it's the opener next.
Sports Chicago is brought to you in part by Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, who invites you to go further in their fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Back here at Wrigley Field, and the sun starting to peek through the clouds. And let's hope the weather holds up not only this afternoon, but tonight as well, as Tyler Chatwood gets ready to face the Dodgers. Cubs and Dodgers are going to match up a lot. 7 of the Cubs' next 11 games are versus LA. Their Southwest starting lineup: Peterson, who has 7 homers in June. Muncy has 6. Turner, Grandal, Kemp, Cody Bellinger, the first baseman. Chris Taylor at short. Corey Seager out for the rest of the year. Yasiel Puig hitting 8. That's a pretty good lineup when he's hitting 8. And Maeda, the pitcher, 9.
Cubs defensively, Ian Happ plays center this afternoon. Hayward, Schwarber flank him. Bryant, Russell, Zobrist, Rizzo on the infield. Zobrist still has not committed an error this year. Chris Jimenez behind the plate. Lexus starting pitcher. Tyler Chatwood. Lexus experience amazing.
Let's play some ball. Chatwood to Peterson, and he takes a strike to get us started. To check out the numbers for the athletic right-hander.
Yeah, 14th start, 3.5, a 4.12 ERA.
That ball hit a ton to right, and it's gone into the basket. Jock Peterson on the second pitch just hit his 8th home run in June. And the Dodgers with their 35th this month. It's been their game here lately.
Yeah, they've done a ton of slugging during this stretch of 21-7 baseball. They've hit 54 home runs. This is a cut fastball moving down and in on Peterson, who has the highest OPS in all of baseball for the month of June. Line shot into the basket to start the scoring here this afternoon. And he and this guy Muncy have been quite the 1-2 punch against right-handed pitching. They have been dynamic.
So here is Muncy, the second baseman, and he shows bunt. Cubs would love if he were to lay down a bunt or two, because he's slugging .599. 73 degrees. The wind is coming off the lake at 5 miles an hour.
How good has Max Muncy been? Maybe a beneath the radar kind of guy, released by the A's last year. But he has been prolific this year in terms of the home run ball. Doesn't have enough ABs to qualify, but he has the best at-bat to home run ratio in all of baseball.
The Dodgers,
and there's the evidence.
Yeah,
a little bit better than Trout and Mookie Betts. It's not a real small sample. He's got 150 some at bats.
Well, they're one of the big market teams. They basically spent the most money on players here the last few years. But they've gotten really good contributions from some under the radar guys. Now they're paying Justin Turner after he got his career turned around as a Dodger, but Muncy, Chris Taylor, and they've needed these contributions because of all the injuries they've had.
Yeah, I don't know if they're the most injured team in baseball, but they've had some high profile injuries. They've used the DL some 19 times.
I think the Rangers are probably at the top of that list, but the Dodgers right behind them. And ball 4.
I could say something disparaging about the Rangers, but I won't. I'll just say the Dodgers injuries, I think, more relevant because this is a team that has won the division 5 consecutive years, expected to do so again, and they've weathered the storm. You know, contributions by guys like Muncy, Ross Stripling in the rotation has been lights out. Walker Buehler, before he got hurt and went to the disabled list, had made 9 very good starts.
And by the way, for the record, the Red Sox have passed the Dodgers in payroll, and I think the Dodgers are actually 3rd behind Boston and San Francisco. Cubs up there as well.
A scud bounced way out in front of home plate. You're always on high alert for Tyler with the command issues to get a little sideways. Last time he was able to control it, he only walked 2 in his start against the Brewers. And when the fastball started to go east and west and up and down on him, he started throwing more cutters. He's more comfortable, or at least it appears to be more comfortable finding the zone with that cutter. And there's one at 94. Got a little benefit of the doubt call there from home plate umpire.
Justin Turner, co-MVP of the NLCS against the Cubs last year. And as you check out Turner taking on the Cubs, brought to you by AARP, had a huge NLCS. So this is the Dodgers' first game at Wrigley Field since that clincher. That was the game Kike Hernandez hit 3 home runs. He's available off the bench today, but not in the lineup.
Pretty good chance he'll be in there in the nightcap against the lefty Montgomery. So interesting in that Chatwood, when the ball's in play, it's on the ground a lot. Same with tonight's starter Montgomery. The Dodgers, however, don't hit the ball on the ground that often. They're more of a line drive, fly ball hitting team.
Turner not immune to the DL. Missed the first 40 games with a fractured left wrist. And if you watch his setup, it's not a perfect comp, but he's a little bit of the right-handed version of Anthony Rizzo, right? I mean, really crowds the plate and has a similar setup.
Big leg kick. He joined that launch angle revolution. That's what really helped turn his career around. A little more upright in the box. Uses the leg kick to generate power.
That little lean back, doesn't that have a Rizzo
very
vibe
much so,
to it?
yeah.
And he draws the walk. So leadoff homer and 2 walks to start the game. Brings up Yasmani Grandal, the catcher. Switch hitter. All 11 of his home runs have been hit from this side of the plate.
Yeah, overall among catchers, he's near the top of the league in a lot of categories. And left-handed Grandal for sure. The right-handed version has not been anywhere near as potent. Change up. Man, he's had a couple calls go his way.
That's Trip Gibson behind the plate. He will not work game 2 as a result. Fouled, and it's 0-2. Jeremy Rehak is in for Brian Gorman, who will work home plate in game 2. Chad Whitson and Adrian Johnson, the crew chief, here for the opener. Tapper foul. It's the first inning. It's the 4th batter of the game, but it feels like it's a pretty important one for Chatwood, right? To not let this thing get out of hand early.
Absolutely. You got Matt Kemp on deck, who leads the league in batting. He's having a monster year. We've talked a lot about Tyler's resiliency, his ability to pitch around a lot of walks.
Yeah, there's some irony in the fact that his last start, he walked just 2 and gave up 4 runs, whereas in previous starts he's been able to survive 5, 6, even 7 walks at times.
Yeah, and he had a start earlier this year where he kept the walks down and gave up a bunch of hits, but that rarely does he give up a lot of damage.
Called strike 3.
It's a big zone today. I don't know if it's just Gibson being Gibson or if it's Gibson working the first game of a doubleheader, which figures to be a long day. But thankfully for Tyler, he's opened it up a little bit. And nice job here by Jimenez. 2 quiet hands receiving this changeup. Just kind of hangs right there, gives him a good look at it, and buys the call.
So it's Kemp putting together MVP type numbers here in the first half. He's leading the league in batting at .338. And he leads all major league hitters with a .398 batting average on the road. So Kemp is back where he got his big league career started with the Dodgers in 2006. Made his debut as a 21-year-old. He's now 33.
There were a lot of folks thought that he would not be on the roster when opening day came.
go foul.
Recent years he's had some injury issues. He had gained a bunch of weight and was really bad in the outfield, but he's dropped a lot of pounds. He's recommitted to his conditioning and his diet. Anecdotally, at least, talking to the other broadcasters up here from LA and some of the stuff I've read, and I think the advanced metrics bear it out as well. He's been adequate in the outfield. Dave Roberts still replaces him a lot late in games, but he's not been the liability out there that he had been. And back to top form offensively.
Well, early in his career, he was a dynamic threat. He stole bases. He had 35 steals in 2008, 34 in 09. 2011, he stole 40 with 39 home runs and was pretty durable. As you said, injuries here the last few years. But when he's been healthy, he's been a good offensive player throughout his career.
Yeah, even last year with the Braves, he was hitting, and then he had a couple hamstring injuries that derailed his season.
2-2, misses low and away, and it's full. Cody Bellinger is on deck. Chatwood grinding through this first inning. Peterson got him for a leadoff homer. He then walked Muncy and Turner before striking out Grandal.
The one thing Kemp doesn't do a lot is take walks. He might catch a break here. He may be willing to expand his zone.
Everything down, down, down in this sequence.
He's pretty good middle in. He's been crushing fastballs. Been fastball, cutter, changeup pretty much so far from Tyler. You saw that breakdown. We showed you his pitch usage: fastball, slider, curve, and change. Curveball has really good action. For my money, I'd like to see him use it a little bit more.
The pitch popped him up. Infield fly rule will take effect. So 2 down, and it will bring up Bellinger, last year's Rookie of the Year. He was the unanimous choice. Even though he wasn't in the big leagues for his team's first 20 games, he hit 39 home runs. That set the National League rookie record. Aaron Judge, by the way, set the all-time rookie mark last year with 52. And I don't know what it is about the Dodgers, but it's the 18th Dodger to win that award. It's pretty incredible.
They've had a couple of runs of 4 or 5 years in a row where they've claimed that award. It would be interesting to go back through with all the knowledge we have now with advanced analytics and statistics and see how many of those were actually deserving and how many were just Right. There's probably a little big market bias there.
Two strikes on him.
Dangerous, but a lot of swing and miss in his game. We've seen him really struggle at times with soft stuff down. Heater up.
And a miss. So it took him 29 pitches to get through it. They get one on the homer, but Chatwood limits the damage. Percentage points ahead of Milwaukee, but a virtual tie, as we like to say, for the NL Central lead. Bryant, Hayward, and Zobrist at the top of the order. Rizzo, Happ, and Schwarber in the middle. Russell, Jimenez, and Chatwood round out the Cubs' Southwest starting lineup.
Dodgers defensively kept Peterson, Puig left center. Right, big arm on Puig out in right. Turner, Taylor, Soldier, Spy. Nope. Turner, Taylor, Muncy, Bellinger on the infield. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. That's his experience. Amazing starting pitcher for the Dodgers is Kenta Maeda. He's made 11 starts, one time out of the pen, 4-4 with a 361. Cubs have seen him 5 times. All in the postseason. Never have they faced Maeda, the 30-year-old right-hander, in the regular season. It's kind of funky.
And it sends one down the right field line, and foul and out of play. Yeah, the Maeda Hill tandem. Rich Hill will come off the DL later. Rich Hill has gotten 2 outs in his career against the Cubs in the regular season. That was 7 years ago, but he's faced them twice in the postseason. And this is kind of inside baseball for what we do.
Yeah.
But a lot of the batter-pitcher matchup readouts that we get are all regular season matchups. I think they should include postseason.
Of course,
those at bats matter, and they may be more important.
It gives you the bigger body of work you can look at, the better read you can get on a history between 2 guys.
If a guy's 0 for 15 in the regular season and 5 out of 9 in the postseason, you can't really say he's got your number.
Yeah. There's a breakdown on Maeda. You see a real good mix of pitches. You can't really sit fastball against him. Any pitch in any count is kind of the MO. Gets plenty of swings and misses when he spins it up there with the slider and the curve.
Chris leading off for the 3rd time in the last couple of weeks. On Friday, he ended the longest homerless and hitless streaks of his career, covering 119 plate appearances and 0 for 17 respectively. And a 1-2 offer is popped down the right field line again, and this one will get out of play.
It's a pretty true 91-mile-an-hour fastball over the heart of the plate right there, but it's because Maeda mixes his pitches so well. You know, he can throw that challenge fastball when he's ahead in the count, figuring the hitters maybe staying back, trying to anticipate or at least be able to compete against a breaking ball.
Another 1-2 on its way. And it's 2-2. The leadoff man is presented by Benny's Beverage Depot. And if Bryant gets a hit here, Benny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
One of the advantages of having a power guy in the leadoff spot is exactly what we're seeing right here. It takes the aggressiveness away from the pitcher a little bit. And you got a little scrappy guy who works counts but doesn't hit the ball out of the ballpark. You get to a point where you go throw it in there and go ahead, and this can sometimes set a defensive tone for the pitcher.
And he gets him. The first out, and it'll bring up Jason Hayward.
That's kind of been the story with Chris while he struggled here. Chasing breaking balls out of the zone. This is well executed. It's on the plate, but diving down below the knees.
Hayward hitting .338 over his last 16 games and takes a fastball low. It was an interesting day and evening here at the ballpark yesterday. It was what, mid-90s when we got here. I mean, it was a sauna. When the temperature dropped, Muncy will make the play. About 20 degrees over what, 30-minute period?
Yeah, it was
around 5:45 to 6:15, yep. And then we had the threat of rain. We had some issues with the lights. They did come back on the right side of the ballpark for a brief period before they went out again. And then with more rain in the forecast and getting near 10 o'clock, it just didn't make sense to continue to wait around with a possible day-nighter looming.
And the only reason we waited as long as we did is because this is the Dodgers' only trip to town this year. It's one of the downsides of the unbalanced schedule. A lot of games within your division, but when you have rain issues against the East, the West, and the American League, it creates some problems.
There's a 1-0 to Zobrist, and he could not check his swing.
Good change up there. The splits against Maeda, lefties 292 against him. Right-handed batters just 196. That's a little split change piece.
One is lined the other way for a base hit.
Okay, I got fooled by the off-speed pitch, so I'm going to stay back, shoot it the other way. Fastball up, you're asking for trouble against Zobrist. This one's thigh high.
Zoe getting a little NBA inspiration today. I walked in with him in the parking lot, and he had his full Bulls uniform on.
Like
everything.
Shorts and all?
The shorts, the jersey, the whole bit.
Huh.
Yeah.
Have a ball?
He did not have a basketball, no. One strike to Rizzo.
I would think Zoe would be tenacious on the basketball court.
Yes. He'd be a real good defender.
Yeah.
He'd be a good pick and roll guy. He'd be the guy to give up the body. I'm just making stuff up.
Yeah, me too.
Muncy to Bellinger, and that will do it. It's 1-0 Dodgers in the opener after an inning.
Light game report, a couple updates to pass along. Yu Darvish, who was supposed to throw a sim game this afternoon, the weather obviously playing into that. He will now throw the sim game tomorrow afternoon, and the Cubs will wait until Thursday to evaluate what steps he will take moving forward, but likely another sim game in the future. And then Javier Baez, of course, who got hit in St. Louis there on the elbow. Joe Maddon saying he should be available, guys, for game 2. So certainly 2 positives for the Cubs this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. And we are expecting some rain a little later today. And with the busy schedule with 2 games, the Cubs just decided let's push back the sim game 1 day. As Chris Taylor leads off the 2nd inning, and he bounces one. Chatwood walking 2, gave up the home run in the 1st. Taylor, a bust out season last year. Played a lot of center field. But now that Corey Seager is done for the year with a right UCL sprain. Taylor playing shortstop. Chase Utley might be back tonight or tomorrow, or maybe not at all in the series. He's dealing with a left thumb sprain, but is very close to being activated. Get foul.
Taylor, quite a luxury to have a guy that you can plug in center field or shortstop and just feel like it's not just a temporary fix. He's a guy that can handle the position for an extended period of time. And when Seager got hurt, there was all kinds of Machado rumors starting to fly around out there. It would be intriguing if the Dodgers were to pull a trigger on a deal like that. But this kid can handle the position.
Strike 3 called. Paint job by Chatwood for his 3rd.
Cub fans, celebrate your 4th of July with America's Pastime at baseball's most majestic ballpark. The Cubs take on the Detroit Tigers. Interleague matchups on July 3rd and 4th. Get your tickets now at Cubs.com. Nothing better than the holiday at the ballpark.
Yeah, that'll be a fun series.
Get yourself a dog, cold beverage.
A rematch of the 45 World Series. Although I don't believe there are any active players left.
From the 45 World Series. Well, we had Lenny Marullo here, but he passed away. Lenny was on with us a few years back.
1-0 on Yasiel Puig.
Early in his career, Puig did a lot of damage in this ballpark. Last couple of years, not so much.
2 balls, no strikes.
Overall, though, the number's still quite robust.
Swinging away and missing on a 3-0. It's now 3-1. Tyler Chatwood's wife Veronica is due any moment with their first child. So he's got a lot on his mind this week. Able to make the start today. Swing and a miss, 3-2.
Interesting that Puig was swinging 3-0 against a guy with the highest walk rate in baseball by a long shot. And Tyler, looking to take advantage, comes back with a real good 3-1 offering.
There's ball 4. So Puig reaches first. So that's 8 batters in, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, a home run and a pop-up.
We were talking Dodger injuries earlier. Dodger Blues. Kershaw's been on the DL twice. Ryu's only made 6 starts.
And Turner's back
for the year.
We mentioned he missed 40.
Kershaw's made 8 starts. Rich Hill's made 6. Ryu's made 6. Where would they be without Walker Buehler, who's also on the DL now, and Ross Stripling?
So Kershaw with the flip downs working. They're not quite as fashionable as the new glasses, but as you can see, they're very functional. But not a lot of defenders wear them these days. Maeda with the sac bunt. Originally, the Dodgers had Kershaw scheduled to throw a sim game in LA today or tomorrow, but instead he came with the Dodgers to Chicago, and on a very hot afternoon through the simulated game here. So he's going to pitch on Saturday with their AAA club, Oklahoma City, and then assuming all goes well, the start after that will be back in the big leagues.
You know, I think he's just got clear lenses on. I don't think he's wearing the flip downs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's what I thought initially too. And now he's changed altogether. Oh, there he is. Now he's wearing them. That must have been the other Kershaw.
Nick. It's an obscure music reference. So don't even Google
Sammy.
it.
So for folks who don't know, and I'm assuming most of our audience does, the simulated game is just that. A pitcher will go out there and face live hitters, throw all of his pitches. So it's not just BP. It's not just throwing in a bullpen to a catcher. He'll be trying to get hitters out, and he'll throw 20 pitches or so to simulate an inning, and then go sit down, rest for a little while, come back out and do it again.
Oh, 0-2 on a guy who parked one into the basket and right to lead off the game. And Peterson now 2 home runs and 6 for 12 lifetime against Chatwood.
Peterson first came into the league, he had a lot of promise, but there was so much swing and miss in his game, and he's cut that down significantly. Hitting the ball to the middle of the field a little bit more. He and Muncy ranked 3rd and 5th in the National League in slugging against right-handed pitching.
Struggled against the Dodgers last year with Colorado. ERA in the high 6s on 3 starts and 1 relief appearance.
Yeah, he left with a good taste in his mouth, though. His final start against them, he went 5 shutout. The previous 2 were real ugly. For his career, 5-9 with a 4.07 against the Dodgers. It's 14 starts and I believe 1 relief appearance.
Pitch count rearing its ugly head yet again today for Chatwood. He's nearing 50 pitches. And has only recorded 5 outs. Both teams will get an extra player, and in both cases it is going to be a relief pitcher for game 2 tonight. Puig takes off for 3rd, and he'll make it. So that'll be a wild pitch charged to Chatwood. And Jock Peterson's really seeing the ball well, just by the way he's taking pitches here in this at bat with 2 strikes.
Yeah, you could tell he's hitting with a lot of confidence, anxiety. When the guy's pressing, you'll see a lot of chases on pitches out of the zone.
Dodgers have stuck by both Peterson and Puig over the last few years. I'm sure they've had opportunities to trade those guys. But, they're still a big part of what they're doing offensively. And Peterson draws the walk. Here's Muncy again.
Well, even though you get an extra man, and we were rained out yesterday, so the bullpen's rested, you're hoping to get some length out of your game 1 starter, because you never know what game 2 is going to bring.
Called strike to Muncy. He's got some defensive versatility, but has been considered a bat first guy. Former Athletic. And he got released by the A's last spring and then signed a minor league deal with the Dodgers. He spent last year at AAA and started this year at Oklahoma City as well before he got a chance here due to all their injuries, and has taken full advantage.
And when he got released by the A's last year, he went home. He didn't sign with the Dodgers right away. Kind of went back to the old days. His dad would throw him BP. They went to the high school, and his dad would throw him batting practice every day. That's where he retooled his swing a little bit.
Peterson takes off, and a ground ball hit right to Zobrist. The Dodgers scrammed 2, but again they made Chatwood work pretty hard as he walked a couple more. It's 1-0 Dodgers early. In the middle is my son Leo. He is on a trip through school at New Trier. So he's there for 2 weeks. There with his friend Tyler Shinohara. That is the Takeuchi family. And they're big baseball fans. And I think they're watching us today. We've got to do a little work on the time zones. I think it might be 2:44 a.m. tomorrow in Japan.
But, ask him who wins.
We want to say hi to everybody there and hope you're having a great time.
That's kind of fun. Fitting that Leo ended up with a bunch of baseball fans.
Yes. Ian Happ in the air to left. Kemp's back, reaching for the wall. He won't quite get to the wall. As he makes the catch.
Maeda, this is year 3 for him in a Dodger uniform after a long successful career in Japan. 97 and 67, a 2.39 ERA with Hiroshima 2008 through 2015. Immediate success with the Dodgers. His first year here, 16. He was 16 and 11 with a 3.48.
Maeda is from Osaka, Japan. Ground ball, Schwarber with a base hit.
typically sees a lot of pitches, goes up there hacking, and it pays off.
Here's Addison Russell. Takes ball one.
Addie's had a pretty extended run of good here. Not a lot of slugging, but average has been climbing for about a month. On base percentage up over 350 now.
2 balls, no strikes on him. So Maeda, with his second start back from the DL, he had a right hip strain, which cost him a couple weeks. If you're into this sort of thing, I don't know what it means, but he is the active leader in June ERA in terms of starting pitchers. Base hit to right. Schwarber will stop at second. Maeda with a career 2.34 June earned run average.
We talked about that good run Addie's been on, and a lot of it is because of this. A lot of base hits the other way. Yeah, so you don't want to mess with Maeda in June, apparently.
I think it was Freddie Garcia. I'm thinking about day, night, and then monthly splits.
Yeah.
And how they really don't matter. But he was the one guy, I believe it was September, and maybe the daytime. I'm not sure the day night deal, but one of it was a pretty huge difference. And then after September 1st, he was Hall of Fame quality.
Huh.
And again, it still might not have meant anything, but it was just kind of interesting to track it. 1-1 on Chris Jimenez. Cubs trail 1-0 on a Jock Peterson leadoff home run in the first. Three and one, he laid off it.
Yeah, really pitching away from contact here with a man in scoring position. Got a guy on deck, and Tyler Chatwood, yes, he's a pitcher, but he handles the bat well. Get too nibbly to the 8-hole hitter, you're setting yourself up for a potential big inning.
Three-two.
Ability to command that slider is key for Maeda. Gets back into the count with a well-placed slider right on the knees on the outside corner.
Freddie Garcia in the daytime was 62-28 lifetime. 31-16 September 1st and later. He was pretty good overall. And he was way better on grass than turf. I want to see.
He was the anti-vampire.
I want to see your grass turf splits, because that you pitched on a lot of artificial turf.
Yeah. Kind of a fake grass kind of guy.
Two on, one out. Maeda with a fake move to second.
That always draws boos from the home crowd when a pitcher does that move.
Your ERA was a run better on turf than grass, which makes sense because you pitched a lot of your home games.
Yeah,
on AstroTurf.
The few years I was good in Houston would, help that.
Bases loaded. An opportunity here at the bottom of the order, and Chatwood can handle the bat. Career .215. As he'll stand in with one out.
Well, it's 3 good plate appearances, a couple off-field singles, and then Jimenez accepting the walk, setting the table for Chatwood here. The other thing about, we talk about his athleticism, he handles the bat well, and he runs well too. So ball on the ground, he's got a chance to beat out a double play. Obviously concerned about in a situation like this. Maeda below average in terms of his ground ball rate.
Breaking ball strike. Outfield not deep at all. And now Peterson will move back a few steps in center. Wind is blowing in, not very hard. 5 miles an hour as we started. That's the ground ball pitch, and Chatwood didn't go after it. The 1-1 missed again. When you're not throwing strikes, you kick at the pitching rubber. Take your hat off, wipe off your brow, trying to get locked in again. Two and two.
Got away with a hanger there.
Theoretical sac fly zone. Puig's not always accurate, but he's got one of the strongest arms in the league. He likes to use it. Full count.
Maeda taking a shot at that pitch off the plate that Gibson was giving earlier. This time, no dice.
Two of the base is full. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
You can't blame Chatwood for thinking he would get fastball there. How about that? Does that not typify the modern game? 3-2, bases loaded, breaking ball to the opposing pitcher. He gets away with it. Chatwood expands and chases. You talk about not giving in. My goodness.
Veteran pitching coach Rick Honeycutt will head to the mound before Bryant bats.
Cub fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card. Only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Members FDIC.
Quick note of congratulations to Myrtle Beach right-hander Keegan Thompson. Yesterday was named the Carolina League Pitcher of the Week. It's the second time he has won that honor. Third-round pick out of Auburn last year. He's got a .319 season ERA and 12 starts for the Cubs' High A affiliate.
Rick Honeycutt's got to be the longest tenured pitching coach in the game, I believe.
It's got to be pretty close. Yeah. Dave Righetti no longer there.
Yeah, Rags is
Giants pitching coach. Strike one to Chris.
I think Rick Honeycutt went out there with a very specific plan as how they wanted to go after KB here.
Rick Honeycutt is third on the list. Don Cooper, number 1, 17 years with the White Sox. Darren Balsley, 16 years with the Padres. These are spots in which Chris really wants to improve, these RBI opportunities. Maeda from the wind on a 1-1.
Yeah, and that, you know, sometimes those kinds of thoughts can clutter your mind. I got to come through in this situation. I gotta be the guy. And hitters will tell you normally you don't want to be thinking that way. You just want to go up there and have that same process. I'm looking for a pitch I can handle. Just want to put a good swing on it. A pitch he could handle, but he didn't barrel it up.
With nobody on, he's hitting .296 with a .928 OPS. Scoring position, 2 outs, 5 out of 26. That's .192. Full count to Bryant. Well, he threw the breaking ball. Strike to ball pitch to get Chatwood on 3-2. Let's see what he has in mind for Bryant.
Yeah, he struck him out with a breaking ball last time up down. Does he go back to that well, or does he feel like KB maybe is anticipating that and he'll try to cross him up with a heater?
Runners go. Pulled the left. Fair ball. And it'll be a double as it bounces out of play. 2 runs will score, and the Cubs lead 2-1.
They're trying to go down and away with that slider again, and Maeda just comes off the pitch, trying to make a perfect one, makes a mistake. It drifts inside. He doesn't really barrel it up, but he keeps the hands in, and he's able to keep that ball fair. That gets Brian Butterfield cranking that right arm. That little guy gets a souvenir, so smiles all the way around.
Two to 1 here in the second. 2 more in scoring position for Jason Hayward. Jimenez at third, Bryant at second.
What is that?
I was
about
going
a
to
cluttered
ask you.
mind. That's second and third, and he's feigning a pickoff throw to second base.
Missed wide.
It's interesting, you know, the base hits by Schwarber and Russell were, you know, just routine singles. You know, it wasn't like they just covered the baseball, but that was enough to, at least as I see it, to get Maeda into a very defensive mindset here.
So he's at 40 pitches. Number 41 is a strike. Set at the belt. And a fly ball out in the left center. Kemp is going to get there. And the Cubs lead 2, but they score twice on the Chris Bryant 2-out double. And it's 2-1 Cubs after 2. Sports Chicago premieres a special documentary on the state of youth sports in America titled Fair Play. Before they were major leaguers with the Cubs, players like this young man were kids being kids, playing all sorts of sports. Do you know who this young Cubs personality is? We will tell you. Not yet. Here's Justin Turner. Chatwood with a 2-1 lead. Turner walked in the opening inning.
He has walked more often than he has struck out, so he's part of that select group.
Dirt. 3-0 the count on Turner. Cubs picked up a half game in their division last night. The Dodgers lost a half game. They're 2 back of the Diamondbacks for first. Arizona playing really good baseball once again. Fouled out of play. Our fair play young Cub. Is Addison Russell. And the ground ball. Nice stab by Bryant, and he got it. The documentary Fair Play, Youth Sports in America, takes an inside look at the multifaceted world of organized sports. Premieres Friday, June 29th at 7:30 right here on NBC Sports Chicago. Grandal caught looking on strikes in the first. Ball one. Off the corner. Twitter was all over it. Addison Russell.
That's a shocker.
It is interesting, though, to see occasional video of big leaguers when they were 10 or 11 swinging the bat, and you see it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You see the mechanics and the seeds of an elite baseball player. Hammered, and that will one hop the barrier. Nice play by Happ. Grandal will get in. He had to really hustle as Ian Happ got to that ball quickly. That's a double.
That ball really stung. See the exit velocity, 106 miles per hour. Ian initially thought maybe he'd have a chance at that ball, and you saw he had to belly out and head to the wall to play the carom.
Runner at second base, one out. Pitch to Matt Kemp. Outside. Cubs will need to figure out who's going to start the game Saturday in Cincinnati, because their five-man rotation will all have pitched starting today through Friday. So they'll have to find a sixth starter for Saturday. Mike Montgomery pitches tonight.
Might have to be a bullpen day.
That's become a popular thing. The Rays have done it a lot, pretty regularly.
Depending on how many pitches Tyler throws today, I'd be tempted to bring him back on short rest.
Russell will glove.
Got a little blowout coming out of the box.
So Kemp is retired. The Verizon projected starters later on tonight. Former Cub Rich Hill returns from the DL. His last start about a month ago, 2 pitches in, and the blister blew up on him. And Mike Montgomery has just been awesome filling in for Yu Darvish.
If you're a fan of curveballs, you don't want to miss that one.
Bellinger with a man at second base, 2 outs, struck out in the first inning. Yeah, I would think if you went with a bullpen day, Luke Farrell, depending on what his week looks like prior to Saturday, would be an option to give you multiple innings to start the game. Sun really a problem. Oh, he caught it. Russell just saved a run. As he lost the ball in the sun, he snagged it just before it hit the grass, and that keeps the Dodgers off the board in the 3rd inning. So it's still 2-1 Cubs.
Now for our Xfinity high-speed replay, the emotions of a pitcher. Watch this. Chatwood first of all, I can't see it. I hope somebody else can. And then as he watches Addie struggle, a little pain and then relief as Russell makes the play. High drama for a little pop-up out beyond the shortstop position.
Zobrist, Rizzo, and Happ against Maeda. He gave up the lead in the second. Turner in on the grass at third as Zobrist takes low. Two balls, no strikes. He's singled. And his first at bat, he's batting third. It's possible Javier Baez could start game 2. That is in play.
Trying to work the edges, and it would be understandable for these pitchers to feel like they're a little bit betrayed, because the way the game started, it seemed like Gibson was going to call anything close. Since then, he's reined it in. Zobrist, a consummate professional, such a smart hitter. A couple strikes, he'll go the other way. Hitters count. He might look to juice one here.
That is ball 4. Xfinity X1 customers say show me the Chicago Cubs into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Leadoff man aboard. And this is the other thing about all the time spent discussing who the best Cubs leadoff hitter is. Swing and a miss. Bryant leading off the game, but Zobrist leading off the third inning. Just put your best hitters at the top and hope for the best, right? That's
and perfect
generally what to do.
Want on base guys in front of slugging guys.
Yep. The Cubs have a lot of guys who do both. Ground ball picked up by Turner. And that'll go 4-3 on the out. Or 5-3, however you wish to score it. Technically 5-3, but was hit to the second base position.
Now they rotate again as Turner returns to third. Taylor will go out and play. Looks like he's going to move all the way over to the right side of second base here for Happ.
Happ had the game-winning RBIs Friday and Saturday in St. Louis, and he just lined out to Muncy.
It's a bit of misfortune. Hit it right on the screws. Good job by Zobrist staying home on that line drive.
Paradoxes of baseball. As a pitcher, you don't want to give up hard contact, but you like a quick line out to an infielder, right? One pitch out.
Yeah,
especially when you're walking guys.
Yeah. Kind of slow down that pitch count a little bit. Well, that's a lot of the advanced stats now, right? The weighted expected on base average and things of that nature takes into account quality of contact.
Yep. They will now walk Schwarber after starting 2-0. And go after Russell. Dave Roberts. In his third season managing the Dodgers, he was the manager of the year in his first year, 2016. Dodgers were eliminated that postseason by the Cubs in 6 games in the NLCS. And they returned the favor in 5 games last October. That was their first NL pennant clincher in 29 years. And they lost in 7 to the Astros.
And looking at this page in the Dave Roberts page in the Dodger media guide, and they get the list of all their managers, and you have to go all the way back to Burley Grimes in the 1930s to find a Dodger manager who had a career record below 500.
Before you close that page,
yeah,
give me the amount of years during which it was just Alston and Lasorda.
54 through 96.
From 1954 to 1996. Contemplate this. 43 seasons, they had 2 managers.
Yeah, and post Tommy, it's Billy Russell, Glenn Hoffman, Davey Johnson, Jim Tracy, Grady Little, Joe Torre, Don Mattingly, and now Dave Roberts. Walter Alston, I don't know about Tommy, but Walter Alston never had a multi-year deal.
So we talk about day-to-day injuries. His career was year to year. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just changing managers wasn't as big a part of the game back then. If you felt like you had the right guy in place, you just ran with it. And he probably felt there was no need to get the club to lock in for multiple seasons.
3-1 on Addison Russell. And he walked him. That's the danger when you have the intentional pass.
Coming off a pretty good outing, as you mentioned. This is his second start since coming off the disabled list. His walk rate is a little bit below league average, but the command has not been there for him here today. The 4th walk he has issued. And Cubs are a patient team, as are the Dodgers, so that there would be a number of free passes in this game. Not too surprising, or not surprising at all.
Maeda from the wind. To Chris Jimenez, it's a strike.
Talk a lot about the burden of an 8th place hitter sometimes with the pitcher on deck, but here with the bases loaded, there's no need to be overly aggressive. A walk gets you a run.
Third major league season for Maeda. JD referenced it earlier. He's pitched a fair amount against the Cubs in the postseason. The ball hammered to left, but way foul. Twice in relief in 2016's NLCS. 4 runs and 7 2/3 combined. Both Dodger losses. 3 times last year. Scoreless relief appearances. He got the win in game 1, and he was excellent for the Dodgers throughout last postseason as a relief pitcher. It's Yimi Garcia up in their bullpen. Lifted to right. Should be no problem for Puig. And that'll do it. Cubs lead 2-1 at the end of 3 in game 1 of a day-nighter from Wrigley Field.
Manfred and the Coral Reefer Band are returning to Wrigley Field Friday, July 13th with special guest Boz Scaggs. Don't miss out on Jimmy's only Chicago appearance of the summer. Get your tickets now at Cubs.com/concerts.
So what does Jimmy call it when he has breakfast and you can just kind of walk up and get whatever you want? Yeah.
Brunch.
There you go. We want to send out a very happy and belated birthday wish to Keith Schramm, who has worked up here in the press box for a long time. The big 7-0. And we celebrated by not playing last night.
The keeper of the gate. Always comforting to show up at the ballpark and have a little chat with Keith when we show up here. Loves the Cubs, loves the sport. We see him down in spring training as well.
He's the best. Also, Steve Cishek yesterday turned 32 as Taylor scatters the Cubs dugout. One ball, one strike. Chatwood gave up a home run on his second pitch to Jock Peterson.
Whoa.
That hit Taylor in the helmet. And Dave Roberts out quickly. Here come a couple of the Dodgers athletic trainers. And they will make complete sure he's okay before he continues on.
And you can see the frustration in the body language of Chatwood, because this is the fear when you don't command that fastball, you don't know where it's going to go. You could do some serious damage, and thankfully Taylor up quickly. And Anthony going to go in, and that's obviously unsettling for the hitter, but the pitcher as well. And Rizzo's trying to give Chatwood a chance to regroup here.
So Taylor stays in. And now it's Puig.
The question going forward is, what does the fastball command look like for the rest of his outing? He's able to put that behind him.
Well, you hear the term uncomfortable at bat, and Chatwood is that. And there have been some misses on behind hitters. A lot of fastballs like that have actually bounced in front of the plate. So
yeah, I think he tried to throw a cutter there, and he just cut it off.
That's a strike. It's 2-1.
You know, pitching inside is part of the game, and then there are guys that are really good at it, pitching in for effect, for intimidation, and just to get outs in there. I think the question Tyler has in his own mind is, if he tries to throw an arm side fastball, where's it going to end up?
Bounce to third. Bryant will throw to second for one. Relay throw late. Puig beats it out. Now the pitcher Maeda. Maeda homered in his major league debut. The first Dodger pitcher to do that since Dan Bankhead, 1947.
This is not real comfortable for Maeda here either. Squaring around to Bunton. And that wasn't a fastball. Again, I think he was trying to throw a cutter. And that's the one he's been able to throw in the zone much more consistently, but that one got away from him. Maeda takes a seat.
You
can read his mind, can't you? Like,
yeah.
Oh, I got to be ready to move here.
They thought something was wrong with him.
Yeah, I think they
happy feet.
Yeah.
He's going, I'm okay, I'm just afraid.
Manager, trainer, interpreter, you know, it's like a blitz. Half the dugout was emptying.
Would you be of the mindset, if you're Dave Roberts, in that spot, with the way Chatwood has been all over the place, of giving a 2-0 take?
Yep, absolutely. I would not be willingly looking to give up an out on 2-0 in that situation, especially with one out.
So Maeda is 2 for 2 in the sack bunt department, meaning he's 0 for 0 in the game.
Cup fans, tee it up at Whistling Straits, site of the 2020 Ryder Cup, 4 of Golf Digest's top 100 public courses, all located in Kohler, Wisconsin, just 2 hours from Chicago. Learn more at whistlingstraits.com/Cubs.
Peterson has given him the most trouble today. A home run and a walk. Here's the leadoff home run.
Trying to go a little backdoor cutter there, and it was on the plate, down a little bit. Not a towering home run by any means, but still counts.
Towering shot, right field. Hayward on the track, and he's got room. Wind blowing in today, and Peterson wants to destroy his helmet. And thinks better of it. He just missed one, and the Cubs still lead 2-1 in the 4th.
military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
The 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Cubs are represented on this year's squad by voting at Cubs.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th.
Maeda to Chatwood, bottom 4. Cubs lead 2-1. Line's foul. This is after the end of the inning. Chatwood telling the Dodgers, yeah, I didn't mean it. I think that's Chris Woodward, the third base coach. I think he was telling Chris Taylor, hey, just so you know. Unfortunately, Taylor's still in the game after he took one off the back of the helmet. There's a 1-1. Now 1-2. Line into center. Peterson will grab it. Felt like a hit, wasn't.
Yeah, shallowed up a little bit with Tyler up there. Proved to be a difference maker. Peterson able to come in and get that line drive.
We'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Griswold Cooperative Telephone in Griswold, Iowa. And hi to the Griswolds.
Aunt Bethany is good, I hope. Uncle Lewis.
Maeda gets out of the way as Grandal will make the catch. Grace, she passed away 30 years ago. Oh, the blessing. Here's Hayward. Adam Liberator, a left-hander up for the Dodgers. Cubs back in first place. 40-28. Milwaukee 42-30. So a win today. And they would lead by a half game going into the regularly scheduled game tonight. A strike. Update the NL Central standings. Boy, a heartbreaking loss for the Cardinals. They came back in the 9th to tie the Phillies, took the lead in extras, and then could not hold it.
Good change up there. Hayward surge. He's been mashing fastballs. And that walk-off grand slam against Adam Morgan, a lefty throwing 97, then homered off the Hicks kid with the Cardinals throwing 99. Suspect if he stays hot, they're going to start being a little more tentative with him.
Pulled into right for a base hit. Hayward is aboard with 2 outs.
Again, they try to elevate the fastball. It's 92 and it's way up there, and he's still able to get on top of it. He's talked a lot about using his hands more, less drag with the front side. Pop that barrel. impressive work right there.
Yeah, he used to have that wrist turn in his setup, and he did not see it there. Much quieter with the hands. So it's Zobrist, and he takes low. And the Cardinals tied the Phillies in the ninth. It was a Colton Wong hit. Tommy Pham homered in the top of the 10th. But then Aaron Alter's two-run double in the bottom of the 10th won it for the Phillies.
I think Maeda out there today feels like he just doesn't have all his tools, because the breaking pitches, which are really a big part of it for him, and really hit or miss. Flying open a little bit, and he's having that slider or curveball just back up on him. Rendall has not been very good at shutting down the running game this year. Just 13%. Guess I should say Grandal / whoever happens to be pitching at the time, because it's on both guys, obviously.
Ball 4.
He is toast. I bet you they go get him.
Here comes Dave Roberts. And that is it. You were all over it.
Not very competitive in that sequence to Zobrist, and with Rizzo due next, he had the lefty getting hot.
So we've got a pitching change coming up, as their bullpen coach Mark Pryor will send in the lefty. We'll be back.
Moises, Fred McGriff. I mean, the list goes on, and I was a very young player when I came up, but I came to a very veteran team, and they showed me how to play the game. They treated me very well. They respected what I could do on the field, but also understood that, you know, the game is going to be before and after us, and I think they, you know, taught me how to kind of pass on whatever information that I have.
Great stuff from the Dodger new bullpen coach. Time now for the BioFreeze call to the pen, official external pain relief of the Chicago Cubs. It's left-hander Adam Liberator. Mark Pryor's now 37, and his career only lasted 5 seasons and 106 starts due to arm troubles, but when he was at his best, he was as good as anybody in the league. And great to see him back in uniform at the big league level. So lefty, first and second, 2 outs. And Rizzo backed off the plate.
Yeah, not a hard thrower. Fastball in to set up probably breaker away for Liberatore, who's been good against lefties in his career. They bat just .202 against him. Up and down a couple of times to the minor leagues this year. He's been on the scene off and on since 2015 with the Dodgers.
One and one to Anthony. A rally of the 2-out variety. Hayward with a single. Zobrist walked. That chased Maeda. Muncy really deep at second. There's a lot of teams play that guy against Rizzo. Fouled away. We had earlier the Justin Turner Anthony Rizzo comp, kind of the mirror image. And, yeah.
Set the hand, some a little rock back with the upper body. The big difference being the big leg kick from Turner. See that from Anthony every once in a while on a 3-0 count. He'll load up like that.
Both guys really crowd the plate. Popped up in on the hands that time. And a good effort by Grandal, but that ball actually hit the net above him. So a break for Rizzo.
Yeah, and the trajectory and the way that ball was coming back towards the field of play without the net, it's probably an out.
That's a base hit. Here comes Hayward. 3-1. That run will be charged to the starter Maeda. Nice piece of 2-strike, 2-out hitting.
Yeah, his 2-strike approach is so good. Maeda able to get away with 3 walks in the 3rd inning, but the Cubs make him pay here as they put an inning together. Push one across. Opportunity now for Happ.
Just getting a note from Peter Chase from the Cubs media relations department that Rizzo has knocked in a run in 10 consecutive home games. And since we hit May 1st, he has been an RBI machine. 47 on the year. Happ fouls away and out of play.
Ian scalded the ball last time up, but unfortunately for him, right to the second baseman.
Foul back. Mentioned earlier, Happ with the game-winning hits in St. Louis on Friday and Saturday. It was a leadoff home run in the third on Friday night. And an RBI double in the seventh inning on Saturday. And he told me he sees the ball really well in that ballpark. And the results have matched that vibe as he swings and misses here, and not happy with himself after a strikeout. But the Cubs do add a run to their lead. It's now 3-1 at the end of 4.
Top of the fifth. You can follow our Cubs Insiders on NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side. Tyler Chatwood has to get through this inning to qualify for the win. He is 3-5 with a 4.12 ERA. Been a bumpy ride for him so far this afternoon, but as is often the case, been able to hold the other club down. Just one run for the Dodgers thus far. 2-3-4 for LA here in the fifth.
Ball one to Muncy. Balls, no strikes. Lefties tonight at 7 o'clock. Former Cub Rich Hill will start for the first time in his regular season career against the Cubs. And it'll be Mike Montgomery, who hopes to continue his string of excellent work in the rotation.
Well, an early move to the bullpen for Dave Roberts. Joe Madden maybe faced with a similar decision here. Pitch count starting to creep up there on Tyler. That's 86. It's almost like there's a game within the game when Tyler pitches, that being, can I command my fastball? I mean, as opposed to just, you know, because that's square one for all pitchers. So that's a battle he's fighting. Works on in the bullpen all the time. He comes into the game, and sometimes it's better than others. And I think that obviously holds him back a little bit in terms of using all of his pitches. Again, we haven't seen the curveball very much. We've seen cutter changeup.
That's a strike.
Turner's not buying it.
Ten walks total in this game, plus the Taylor hit by pitch. Maeda walked 5. And his 3 2/3. 0-2. Chatwood ready. Called strike 3.
Couple of grievances in that at bat for Turner. First one borderline high and away. This is two-seamer that worked its way back towards the outside corner. Turner thought it was away. Again, Jimenez does a nice job receiving that ball.
Play by Jimenez to keep Muncy at first base.
4th strikeout for Tyler. 3 looking. I would imagine to a certain extent, from the hitter's point of view, facing Tyler's kind of like facing a knuckleballer who throws it really hard. You know, the unpredictability of where it's going to end up. Hard to zero in.
Grandal now 29. An all-star 3 seasons ago. Originally a first-round pick of the Reds. He came to the Dodgers in a deal that sent Matt Kemp to San Diego. And he's 7 out of 13 against Chatwood, including 1 for 2 today. Any big plans between games today?
Run a couple miles. Maybe go bowling. How about you?
I'll probably hang out here. And all stays alive.
Yeah, because by the time this game ends, it would be right around the time we normally show up for a night game.
Wind blowing in. Very pleasant afternoon weather-wise. Grandal strikes out. As you enjoy cold Miller Lite, look forward to the Hold True moment a little later on today. And it brings up Matt Kemp. If we try to add up the batters, he's faced what, 22? How many balls have been in play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 are sac bunts. So non-homers and non-sac bunts. 7 of 22 batters the Dodgers have had against Chatwood today have put a ball in play. It's not a lot.
No, it's not. I mean, that's the modern game. There's a lot of that to begin with. Strikeouts, walks, and home runs. Tyler coming into this game had worked 63 in the third innings, allowed 53 hits. He had walked 58, struck out 58. Low batting average against, very low slugging percentage against. That's what's allowed him to hang in there and post a relatively low ERA.
Foul tip, 2-2. Strike 3.
How about that?
Inning. He walked Muncy, and he struck out Turner, Grandal, and Kemp. 2 of the 3 looking, and Kemp having a long chat with Tripp Gibson. Still 3-1. True moment. And right after the inning, and these were a couple of pitches the Dodgers were unhappy about. Turner called out, and then later Kemp. And Kemp got into it with Tripp Gibson. He got kicked out, and then his manager, Dave Roberts, got the thumb as well. He said the magic words. So Peterson goes to left. Kike Hernandez will come in and play center. And Kyle Schwarber will lead it off. Cubs lead 3-1. I'm guessing that'll be it for Chatwood. 5 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. And we'll leave with the lead and a chance at the win. Balls and a strike. Have you been in the visitors clubhouse since they changed everything over there?
No.
You should head over there.
Maybe
It's a little different to get there.
Get up the post-game spread.
Long, long, long stairwell. The clubhouse is still the same, but it's how you get there has changed.
Yeah, I noticed that a while ago. I was in the dugout and I saw the tunnel. I didn't pursue it, however.
Well, if you want to get your steps in, that'd be a nice workout.
Do that.
That might be your between game thing. You can ask Dave Roberts what he said to Tripp Gibson. Schwarber draws the leadoff walk. You can't argue balls and strikes, but a lot of times a manager there is just trying to protect his player.
Yeah, and it's kind of an elastic clause for the umpire. Once you start barking at him over balls and strikes, he has the right to eject you. A lot of times they'll let you say your piece and keep you in the game. And Gibson was not in the mood for it today.
Russell sprays foul into the upper deck.
Normally, in a game with this many walks, you think the score would be 8-7. Pedro Alvarez is on the open market. If you're interested, the Orioles have designated him for assignment. Hitting just $180 this year. Takes a lot of walks. Hits for power. Somebody will pick him up.
That particular position, right? The first baseman slash DH. Low average, high power. Those guys have been kind of falling through the cracks in terms of finding work. And even the guys who hit for some average. Was it Adam Lind? I think at AAA with the Yankees.
Yeah.
After
pretty good year last year.
Pretty good numbers. Adam Lind for the Nationals last year at 14 homers, batted .303. Had an .875 OPS in 300 plate appearances, and he has not played at the big league level this season. Rounded foul.
A little bit of a favor. When he turns over that changeup, it almost looks like a screwball. It's a split 2, but he really pronates, gets that tumbling action down and away.
Three and two. Was it Earl Weaver who got ejected in game 1 of a doubleheader and then came out to exchange the lineup card and got tossed?
That sounds right, yeah.
Before game 2.
Yeah, whenever, if it's an ejection story, Earl is always a safe guess.
Back-to-back walks.
And keeping with the theme of the day. Dodgers bullpen has posted a 3.75 ERA coming into play today. That's 7th in the National League. Middle of the pack. The starters, despite all the injuries, have performed very well. Starters ERA at 3.50, a little bit better than the Cubs. Good for 4th best in the league.
Bob Guerin is now the acting manager. He's the Dodgers bench coach.
And while Bob strides out, let me tell you, the best place to spend your summer weekends is at Wrigley Field. Plan now and get tickets to weekend matchups against the Reds, Cardinals, and Padres. Support your Cubs to another division title. Visit Cubs.com. Place your orders today. There's no place like it.
Pitching change coming. A right-hander will enter. Cubs have 2 on, nobody out, and we'll be right back. This Friday, the park is gone. Don't miss the movie event of the summer when Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom hits theaters. Biofreeze call to the pen. Veteran right-hander Daniel Hudson takes over.
Hudson last year was a Pirate, and it was after a long run with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Got 8 years in the league. And this year, 20 games, 1-2 with a 4.38 ERA. 95-mile-an-hour heater and slider that he throws better than 40% of the time.
Get a chance to read Jeff Passan's book, The Arm. One of the narratives threaded through the book is Daniel Hudson coming back from Tommy John surgery. And it was a long haul. And to have a couple of operations to repair that elbow. Two strikes on Chris Jimenez. Fouled away. Todd Coffey, another guy prominently featured in that book. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Looks like some fog is starting to roll in.
Yeah, breeze has picked up as well. A little cooler air. Jimenez up there initially to try to get a bunt down, could not succeed, and then punches out. And Stella will hit for Chatwood. The Pastime book, what was the biggest takeaway from it?
Well, there are
clubs being
several.
smart, the way they're protecting pitchers.
There are no grand conclusions, but I think one is just how random it can be, the injury part of it for a pitcher. I think he really digs in, especially with a guy like Hudson and Coffey, on what their day-to-day life is like while they're rehabbing from a major arm surgery that takes a year to come back, and how you feel alienated and left out even if you're rehabbing with a specific club. That gets by everybody. He goes into how pitchers are trained in Japan, which is very interesting. So yeah, it's just really good. Really enjoyed it. And as I said recently, the chapter on John Lester and his free agency and his ultimate decision to sign with the Cubs is a must read for any Cub fan for sure. Infield in now after the wild pitch. Fouled back on an aggressive cut by Tommy La Stella.
Yeah, he's got a quick bat. He generates a lot of bat speed without a lot of motion. There's not a big load for La Stella to get started. But with 2 strikes, he'll most likely shorten up a little bit. Think about playing a little pepper with an outfielder. 2 very important runs out there.
And he got him
up.
So Hudson with 2 big strikeouts. And it'll be up to Bryant, who came through in the 2nd inning in a similar spot. Could not hold up. And Chris now would like a do-over. 0-2.
Couldn't lay off the backdoor slider up, and then Hudson just paints the outside corner at the knees.
Fly ball to center field. But again, with the wind blowing in today, that's the kind of ball a pitcher would like to get off the bat of Chris Bryant. So the Cubs cannot cash in the 2 walks. They do lead the game by 2 after 5.
we head to the 6th with this Miller Lite game report, and this certainly would be a nice way to open up the series for Madden's club, as we've been discussing how well the Dodgers are playing of late. Here in June, 11-3, best winning percentage in the league, and since May 16th, they've won 21 of 28, gone from 8.5 back to just 2 back in the division. And guys, you know, we've kind of watched the West now sort of even themselves out a little bit. When talking to guys over there with LA, they say this is all about health. They've gotten 2 really good hitters back. They reinsert Rich Hill into the lineup tonight. That's 4 out of 5 in their starting rotation. And of course, they've got their ace coming back, it sounds like, very soon. How do you foresee this playing out in the West, guys?
For me, and JD can attest, Kelly, I thought the Dodgers almost all along, not necessarily when they were 10 under, but when the Diamondbacks had that stretch where they kind of let everybody hang around, JD, that's when I thought the Dodgers probably would be the team at some point.
Yeah, they would probably be the odds-on favorite, but I think that division, like the Central, is going to be tight into at least mid-September. I really do. I think the Diamondbacks are legit. A lot will depend on what these clubs do at the trade deadline.
Steve Cishek, a day after his 32nd birthday. 2-2 on Cody Bellinger. Three-1 ball game in the 6th inning. The key inning for the Cubs in this game might have been the top of the 1st. Right? That was a home run, walk, with Grandal, Kemp, and Bellinger due. Tyler Chatwood was able to get out of that with no further damage. On the ground, it's Zobrist. Close, but he got him.
Yeah, Bellinger can really scoot, you know, slugging first baseman, but he also can play center field. That gives you an idea of his athleticism. And Zoe does a nice job scrambling over to get in front of this, and then he has to hurry the throw as he comes up to set. He goes, wait a minute, I better hurry up. Like KB going down the line.
Bellinger has made 12 starts in center. Kind of a fun note. He is the first qualified hitter since 2010 to start multiple games in center and at first in consecutive seasons. And in the last 20 years, did you see this note?
No.
Okay, so there are 5 other guys who've done it over the last 20 seasons. So made at least 2 starts at first and in center in the same season in back-to-back years.
Lance Berkman.
No.
No? Oh.
2 have Cubs ties. 1 very close ties currently. Fair ball. Taylor on his way to second. He's going to try for 3 as the ball got all the way to the vines, and he's in. I was watching Taylor, not Kyle. Did he have an issue with it?
Well, I kind of got lost him down there in the corner. Yeah, it scooted by. First it gets by Bryant, who makes a heck of a try. We'll see what transpires in the corner.
So it'll be a triple.
Out away from him. 3-base hit. Trying to play the puck in the corner.
Here's the list.
Yeah, who do you got?
Darren Erstad, Jim Edmonds, Brad Wilkerson, Nick Swisher, and
Chris Bryant.
You're close. Warm.
Looking around the club.
One Puig swings and misses.
Center field and first base.
Mm-hmm. They'll say, oh, of course. That'll be out of play. Runner at third, 1 out, infield back. Rizzo in at first. But everybody else would concede a run.
Currently on this roster.
You're continuing to get warmer. Yes. Not that deep. Taylor is not going to tag. And that ball drops and he'll score. And Puig has a Blue double. JD mentioned the wind really kicking up. So Zobrist out, Happ and Hayward in, and nobody caught it, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, one of those things where the three guys in the area, nobody feeling comfortable enough to run everybody else off. I think Zoe had a hard time tracking it at the end, and a desperate dive from Happ. The ball was in the air a long time. It's one you feel like should have been caught, but again, with the fog, the sky, the wind, not an easy play at all.
And if that ball had been caught, especially by Zobrist, Taylor would not have been able to score. I'm surprised he still didn't attempt to tag. Bunted by Breivik Valera, and he's tagged out by Cishek. He was bunting for a hit. That's not a sacrifice spot with one out already.
Oh, a heck of a bunt and a tremendous play by Cishek. You know, Zobrist was back at second base, so if he gets it by Cishek, he's got himself a knock. But Steve quickly off the mound, and beautiful play.
Wait a minute. They gave him a sacrifice?
No. If they did, they'll rescind it. Can't sacrifice a man to third with a second out.
So Joe will make a change, and the answer to the question is Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, well, Zobrist would be anytime a multiple position, but I can't.
The Rays, yeah.
Oh, okay, I was picturing him doing it here. Yeah, on the roster here, but didn't do it here. Yeah.
So
okay,
pitching change.
You've got to read the instructions on the test.
Right. Come on, JD. 3-2 Cubs. We'll be back.
Wrigley Field and enjoy special perks only available inside the ballpark. Cubs offer special ticket packages for groups of 15 or more. Visit Cubs.com/groups.
BioFreeze call to the pen. Steve Cishek can get out lefties, but a little more urgency here against Jock Peterson. And that's why it's Randy Rosario.
Take every advantage you can. The way Peterson's been swinging the bat keeps this up. He'll have a real good shot to be the player of the month in the National League in June. He's homered already today.
His splits are ridiculous. 298 with a 974 OPS against righties. 136 with no home runs against lefties.
Yeah,
3 for 22 with one extra base hit.
So had Kemp not been ejected, maybe Hernandez here. But Hernandez had to come into the game because Kemp was ejected.
Tying run at third base. A 1-1 count on Peterson. Rosario has been outstanding. Swing and a miss.
Pulling off that front side, get a little wobbly with the left-hander on the mound. You know, the old adage in baseball was the first 6 innings belong to the players, the last 3 innings belong to the manager in terms of the matchup game. And but with bullpens being so dominant as they are in the modern game, I think what we're seeing is managers pulling the trigger earlier. 5th, 6th inning, identifying that as when the game could really turn.
Playable for Hayward, and Rosario gets the job done. The Dodgers do get 1, and they're within 1. 3-2 in the 6th.
Grant Park, August 2nd through the 5th, and NBC Sports Chicago is giving you a chance to win a pair of tickets. Enter for your chance to win at NBCSportsChicago.com/Lala. Speaking of Lala, we usually have a Tommy Lasorda sighting when the Dodgers are in town. I've seen Tommy. Here's lefty Scott Alley. Hey, speaking of Dodger icons, there's Garv.
I wish he had dressed up for the occasion.
Not a hair out of place.
There never was.
Even in all this wind, he must be using a lot of product.
Yeah, Tommy loves coming here. Turned 90 back in September. One ball, one strike to Hayward. Paid crowd today, 39,273. Obviously not that many in the park considering the quick turnaround and the fact that it's a makeup. A tapper. Alexander will get him.
Maybe a little more urgency than was needed. He almost threw it away, but he got the job done. Cubs have left 10 men on base through 5 innings. They had some chances to open this thing up. Dodgers would argue that we've had chances too, so the frustration in both dugouts.
Nice day for Zobrist at the plate on all 3 times.
Alexander likes to sink the ball. This is his first year with the Dodgers. Last year he was a Royal. See, the Royals traded Herrera to the Nats.
Yes. Sean Doolittle will remain their closer. Alexander is from wine country in California, Santa Rosa.
What if he's ever faced Billy Hamilton?
Two balls, 2 strikes. How about the catch Hamilton made the other day?
Yeah.
That was one of the all-timers.
He's not afraid to give up the body. Alexander's showing a little more giddy up on that fastball than my scouting report has.
Were you making an Alexander Hamilton reference?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That's a good one.
Be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Be a tough ticket.
Two count on Zobrist. Starting today, 7 of the next 11 games will be against the Dodgers. And he could not hold. That's strike 3. So 2 outs, and it brings up Rizzo. Knocked in the Cubs' 3rd run with a 2-out single in the 4th.
You want an even worse pun?
You know me, I'm always into that.
See how Grandal was pointing at the first base umpire there at Rehack?
Yeah.
You wanted him to go to Rehack, but he said no, no, no.
We're going to be here all night, folks. One and one. And Rizzo, the pitch. It's foul. So we'll go Alexander Hamilton to Amy Winehouse to what? What's next?
That's it. That's all I got. Just going to point out, though, that there's probably, just in terms of ratio, I wouldn't say there's more Dodger than Cub fans here, but just because of the rain out, probably a lot of Dodger fans that came in for this entire series that were able to come back today, where a lot of Cub fans had other things going on.
A lot of Dodger fans in the upper bleachers in center last night. Rizzo takes a called 3rd. Alexander with a 1-2-3 6th. Still 3-2 Cubs as we head to the 7th.
Cub fans, join the Cubs season ticket holder waiting list today to claim your spot in our lineup for season tickets. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list.
Top 7. Muncy, Turner, Grandal. Steve Reich one.
Rosario, with his good work, has earned the confidence of his manager. A high leverage situation in the 7th against the meat of the order.
And we might have some fans watching us in Muncie, Indiana today. If so, welcome. One of its nicknames is Little Chicago. Not spelled like that. It's C-I-E. Home of Ball State.
Ryan Dunsing away from the club on the bereavement list. So Rob Zastryzny is here. So the Cubs still have 3 left-handed arms in the pen.
Just missed.
He's got a good eye. One of those 3 true outcome players. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks, a lot of home runs.
He's on for the 3rd time via the walk. And it brings up Justin Turner. That's going to be it for Rosario, but Joe will head to the home plate umpire first, Trip Gibson. Wondering if Javier Baez might make an entrance. We'll find out when we come back. Pitching change. Cubs lead by a run. 7th inning. Don't go anywhere. The game now playing second base for Ben Zobrist, and it's the biofreeze call to the pen. Pedro Strop will face Justin Turner with a man on and nobody out in a 1-run ball game.
Once you gaze at the numbers for Pedro Strop, they are very good. A 1.88 ERA, 28 2/3. He struck out 27, walked 9. He's allowed just the 1 home run.
Ball 1 to Turner.
The Dodger lineup does present matchup issues with Muncy left and Turner right, and Grandal the switch hitter. who you prefer to turn around to the right side.
On the ground. Bryant had to wait back. They'll get one relay throw. Can't get two. Nice job by Baez to hang in there at second base.
Able to stand his ground. And that's the luxury a middle infielder has, the second baseman in particular, with that throw coming from the third baseman. A legal slide is not going to take him out of that play. Of course, he also doesn't have the luxury of the neighborhood play, where you see guys just come across the bag, catch the ball, step to the inside, and then make that throw across the diamond.
Right. Theoretically, this rule would create more contact. If you're telling both runner and defender to be at the bag. And so far, it's worked pretty well. And that's a great read by Justin Turner. It's a wild pitch, but it's almost a half a stolen base. That ball hit the dirt and he was gone.
Yeah, and this is a good secondary lead. It's anticipation. You just have to trust your gut. Ball in the dirt, that's going to be a difficult play for the catcher to recover and throw you out. If you try to read it for too long, you've lost your opportunity.
2-2. Strop has the sign from Jimenez. Here's the pitch. Rollover grounder foul to first.
Base running by Turner puts him in scoring position, takes the double play out of play. And remember, Kemp ejected. That means Hernandez is next.
He got him on a foul tip. 2 down. First plate appearance for Hernandez. Had the game of his life last October. And the Dodgers pennant clincher. He hit 3 home runs here at Wrigley Field. Knocked in 7 that night. Before the game, he had texted his mom that he was going to hit a home run for her. She was watching the game at Enrique's grandparents' house on a TV powered by a generator after the devastating Hurricane Maria and crushed Puerto Rico.
And stop at mom, and for half the family. Kemp, by the way, was batting .426 with runners in scoring position coming into play today.
Well, he got kicked out earlier, upset about a called third. 2-2. Bryant gets him. 7th inning stretch time. Brought to you by St. Xavier University. Harry on the big board.
Your attention to the outfield video board.
Right. Let me hear you. Good and loud. On 1, on 2, on 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Oh, it's root for the Cowboys. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes around at the old ball game.
Cubs maintain their lead. Ian Happ with a ground ball to Taylor at short. And he's out, 1 away.
Cubs went down in order in the 6th inning, the only half inning in this ball game where that has occurred. Cubs hit the Dodgers 6-4, but they do not have a hit 6-4. And a couple of walks to lead off the 5th. Couldn't do anything with it.
Strike to Schwarber. Two strikes. Turner will swap spots with Taylor. One and two. Dodgers have used Maeda, Liberator, Hudson, and Alexander. The Cubs, Chatwood, Cishek, Rosario, and Strop. It started at 73 degrees. Probably gotten down into the mid-60s. Pretty cool wind off the lake.
Yeah. Big air conditioning unit out there. Alexander, one of those guys, even when the ball's up a little bit, it still has a little sinking action. Broke in with the Royals. That's the team that drafted him. He broke in 2015, and since then he has the second highest ground ball percentage in Major League Baseball, just behind Zach Britton. 73% of the balls in play against Alexander are on the ground.
He just struck out Schwarber.
Folks, check out the variety of luxury premier options that Wrigley Field has to offer for your next client, corporate, or family function, like the Budweiser patio located in prime home run territory down the right field line. Visit Cubs.com/premier for an option that fits your needs.
Bob Guerin, the acting manager, will make a change. We'll sort it out when we return. Bottom 7. Cubs 3, Dodgers 2. Call to the pen. Yimi Garcia, right-hander, now working for the Dodgers.
15th appearance for Garcia, 1-1 with a 461. He was out all of last year. He had right elbow surgery. Fastball slider guy, leans heavily on that slider. Fastball around 93, 94 on average.
So Logan Forsythe into play second base, and Muncy goes to first. Bellinger to center.
I think so.
There you go. Well, Bellinger kind of reminds you of Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Versatility, and rare that a guy would play both first base and center field.
Yeah. 1-1 on Addison Russell. So Kike Hernandez out of the game. That's where the pitcher's spot will be. Dodgers will have Bellinger, Taylor, and Puig due in the 8th. Russell fans, and that will end the Cubs 7th. So off to the 8th, 6 outs to go. It's a 1-run ball game. Cubs lead 3-2.
the biggest Cubs fan to appoint as the next Cubs Authentic Fan of the Game, someone who's been with the team through the good times and the bad times and never misses a game. Do you have what it takes? Enter at NBCSportsChicago.com/CubsAF.
Pedro Strop came on with a man on, nobody out, and retired 3 straight in the 7th. And he's still working as we hit the 8th inning. Left-handed batter Bellinger, and then 3 consecutive right-handed hitters. Cubs 3, Dodgers 2 here in the 8th.
There are no left-handed bats available on the Dodger bench.
Low for ball 1.
Couple of catchers, Austin Barnes, Kyle Farmer, still available for Bob Guerin.
Well, Farmer and Barnes are both on their bench and available.
Hitters count to a dangerous hitter. Got to make a pitch here.
It has become more of a pitcher's afternoon with the wind picking up. 2-1.
Bellinger got a little greedy on 2-0. Swung at what would have been ball 3. And you saw him have problems with last year. A softer breaking ball down and in.
Walk. Walks have been a big part of the story all afternoon for both teams. The starting pitchers combined for 10. That is 14 combined walks. And here's Taylor.
Leadoff walk in the 5th, leadoff walk 7th, leadoff walk 8th. It's a risky business in a 1-run ball game.
Leadoff walks are no worse than leadoff singles. It's all about the leadoff man reaching first. Walks always feel worse. It's the same result in the big picture. That's Justin Wilson getting loose in the Cubs bullpen. Strike 2. We said it earlier. Bellinger with good speed. He's got 4 stolen bases. The Dodgers don't run a whole lot, however, as a team.
No, they're all about slugging.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
That was ugly.
It's that backup slider that tends to work.
So bad it's good.
Bloop double in the 6th. Made it 3-2.
Bryant maybe a step towards the line. Outfielders are deep. Double probably ties the ball game.
Play as long as you need to win a ball game, but with another game tonight, these two teams would love to win in regulation. Cubs have a 3-2 lead late. Bellinger, the runner at first. A 1-2 to Puig. Popped up. And it'll be Hayward to call off Baez. 2 away. Now Logan Forsythe, who came in as part of a double switch in the 7th. DL time for him, missed a month with a shoulder injury. Trying to strand that leadoff walk. Ball 2. Even the Dodgers really struggled against left-handed pitchers a couple of years ago. One of the reasons they targeted Forsythe. Acquired him from Tampa Bay in January of 2017. Nice work by Strop. Hayward coming in. Pedro with 2 scoreless innings. And the Cubs will bat in the 8th, leading by 1.
Parking and shuttle service for night and weekend games and a free bike check located by the Addison Red Line station. Express shuttle buses also are available from Hillside and Rolling Meadows. Check out available transportation and parking options at cubs.com/transportation.
Cubs trying to tack on here, leading by a run in the bottom of the 8th. Jimenez getting the start here in the opener. He was scheduled to start last night as well, so Wilson Contreras will be back in there tonight. 1-0 from Garcia is hammered foul to left. That would have been a balk with man on base. But you can't balk with nobody on. And had it been called, JD would have lost his mind. Not unfairly, I might add. There's a 1-2 rounded foul.
Yeah, Garcia has a little bit of a short arm delivery. It looks like he likes to work up in the zone with his fastball. So really work hard with that top hand to try to get on top of that pitch. Either that or just take it. Ooh, little Tiante. 98. I have a little bit of a hot gun here today.
Right now, weather-wise, feels like a day game in San Francisco, or maybe downtown San Diego. That marine layer. Heavy, thick air right now.
Garcia pulling out all the tricks. Time coming to a pause, a little hesitation. I guess I mentioned Tiante. I mean, the younger fans, the younger generation of players will probably think more like Johnny Cueto.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Or occasionally Pedro Strop.
Yeah. Jose Lima.
Big hand for Javier Baez. A scary moment the other night in St. Louis as he got drilled a fastball and fortunately ends up missing no games. He would not have played last night, but the game got rained out. And fouls to the top of the screen behind home plate.
By for promotions number 2.
Jack Flaherty got him on a sinker.
That's what most players right now.
Right on the elbow. And it just goes numb on him. Seven of the last 10 Cub hitters have struck out.
See his 0-2 pitch bounced. The pitchers of record are the starters Chatwood and Maeda. Smacked in the center for a base hit.
Kept the hands back and was able to keep him in the at bat. Solid single to straightaway center field for Baez. First hit since the fourth for the Cubs.
Bryant in the air to left and deep. Peterson in the corner, off the wall. Baez to third. He's going to stop there. A double for Bryant, and he almost hit a home run.
Two-double day for KB. The first one drove in two back in the second. Set up shop here. Took a good swing on this one. Good read by Baez. Played well out there. And by Peterson and left, he would have scored.
So the Dodgers have to bring their infield in. Offensively, they're down to 3 outs, so they don't want to give up anything more. As Garcia faces Hayward. Outside for a ball.
I want to talk about Jason Hayward, the surge he's been on. And I think a lot of it, too, is he's been more aggressive. I actually started last year. Willing to attack early in counts.
Inside 2-0. Albert Almora is on deck to bat for Stroke. Will intentionally walk Hayward, I think. The base is loaded. Here comes Almora. Rick Honeycutt will talk scouting report with his pitcher Yimi Garcia. And hefty home run time. Cubs season leaders. And should soon have 5 guys in double digits.
So this is how to attack Almora, and two things come to mind. One, he likes to hit fastballs and he likes to go early. First pitch fastball, he's usually hacking. That doesn't mean you can't throw him one. And so depending on Garcia's strengths, maybe let's go ahead, throw something down below the knees. Maybe we can get a double play, or it may be let's go ahead and go slider away and go from there.
The Dodgers still have their infield in. Bases loaded, and the pitch, swing and a miss.
Slide ball. And they're hedging their bets a little bit in the middle. You got the middle infielders playing at medium depth, so they'll have the option, depending on the kind of ground ball they get, if they get one, to try to turn two.
The 0-1 offer popped up. Mora's out. So 2 away, and it brings up Rizzo. He supplied a Gallagher insurance run. Back in the 4th inning.
As he is wont to do, a little 2-strike choke up. Base hit the other way, gets the job done.
Looming rather large at this point. And he will not face Garcia.
One more lefty out there, Paredes.
We'll go with Edward Paredes. So quick break. We're back in a moment. Cubs 3, Dodgers 2, 8th inning. Freeze call to the pen. 31-year-old left-hander Edward Paredes, making just his 17th major league appearance.
And just number 7 this year. So 4 innings of work, a hit and 5 strikeouts for the veteran yet not veteran Paredes.
Decade in the minor leagues, mostly as a reliever. So 3 men on, 2 down. The Cubs would hate to waste this opportunity.
Not a real hard thrower, leans heavily on his slider. Cubs left 10 men on base for the first 5 innings. Kind of went dormant, didn't really have any opportunities until this big chance here in the 8th.
1-0 strike on a breaking ball. Here's the pitch. A drive out into deep right. Puig will grab it right in the well. Good contact. Not a good result, unfortunately, for Rizzo. They strand him loaded, and we go to the 9th, still 3-2. toast of the game is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. Tyler Chatwood worked around 5 walks and a hit batter today, but he only gave up 1 run. The leadoff homer in the first inning, and he's got a chance for the win this afternoon. Binny's is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs.
If he gets that win, it'll be his 4th against 5 losses. Ian Happ has shifted over to play left. Albert Almora stays in the game to play center. And not Brandon Morrow, Justin Wilson on to try to close this out. There is something going on with Morrow.
Justin looking for his first save as a Cub, and what would be the 15th of his career. He had 13 last year with Detroit before he got traded. 1 ball, no strikes to Austin Barnes. He's batting for Peterson. That's foul at the plate.
Barnes just 210 so far this year. Had a nice year last season, batted .289. 8 home runs in a part-time role.
Inside for a ball. And 3-1. Walks have been a problem for Justin. He has not given up a lot of hits. And quite frankly, today, the Cubs have walked a ton of guys, and it has not hurt them to this point. I feel like you're flirting with danger, though. So the leadoff walk has, as you mentioned, not yielded any runs for the the Dodgers so far.
It's proven to be a good strategy.
Taylor hit by a pitch to lead off the 4th. Muncy walked to start the 5th. Muncy walked to start the 7th. Bellinger a leadoff walk in the 8th. Barnes leadoff walk in the 9th. Mora in center will grab it for the first out. Justin Turner. Fouled out of play.
He's got a quick bat. Pretty good at getting that low ball in the air. And Wilson with that elevated fastball, you can understand why he would try that.
Much better here in the early going against lefties. Better in his career versus right-handers, however. Strike call. 0-2.
It's great carry on his 4-seam fastball. I saw that with Chatwood too. That just, stays on, playing good riding action, good finish.
Wilson thought he had him.
Into the category of could have been and has been at times today.
That's a good pitch. Very competitive try there on 0-2. Sidestep in the pitch. Bounced foul. Wind has died down a bit. Really picked up in the middle innings, blowing in off the lake. Cubs have worked out of some jams. The Dodgers have missed some opportunities. Both teams have offensively. And tomahawked into center for a base hit. Turner on a 1-2 from Wilson puts the tying run in scoring position. And it'll be Grandal to bat right-handed. It's Anthony Bass up in the Cubs bullpen again. No Brandon Morrow here in the ninth. Cubs have used a lot of bullpen today. Strike call.
Pitcher's spot is next, so Farmer is now out on deck. He's the last remaining bench player for the Dodgers.
One strike to Grandal. Way outside. There was a thought last year when the Cubs acquired Wilson that he would be a closing candidate this season, assuming Wade Davis would likely leave via free agency, which he did. But the Cubs brought in Brandon Morrow after his great run with the Dodgers last year. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Some guys wear eye black. Yasmani Grandal took a pool cue, I think.
And eye blue.
I'm guessing that's leftover eye blue from Father's Day weekend. Yeah?
Home run challenge. Prostate cancer awareness.
Barnes, bottom of your screen. He's the tying run. Called strike three. Bottom of the zone. Grandal. Livid.
And he's gone. Fourth time he has struck out today. And this is a borderline pitch, but I thought it was a good pitch. At plenty of the plate, it was down around the knees, but a lot of frustration from the Dodger hitters here this afternoon. Kemp and Roberts had already been ejected. Had Turner been rung up on that one borderline fastball, he probably would have gotten it too.
So Kyle Farmer, the last man off the bench, will pinch hit with 2 outs and 2 on here in the ninth.
Janicki out with the refresher course on Kyle Farmer.
Only his 91st career plate appearance at the big league level. Plays the corner spots on the infield, can catch as well.
5 out of 15 as a pinch hitter this year.
Fans on their feet. Here we go. A pitch from Wilson. Ball one. Dodgers have just 4 hits. They've had a lot of traffic, though, through the walks.
Combined, there's been 19 strikeouts, 16 walks in this ball game.
Wilson ready. Look at the runner at second base. And with 2-1, fouled back our way. 2-2. Tie the game at least as Barnes will score. Here comes Turner. Relay throw to the plate will not be made. Kyle Farmer down to his final strike. Makes it 4-3 Dodgers.
Down and in a little bit. You're not going to guard the line there because that's the tying run in scoring position. You're not guarding against that second run. You're trying to maintain the lead on a day you've already used bullpen and you don't have Brandon Morrow available. Farmer able to shoot it right down the line to plate 2.
So now the Cubs are going to have to do it against Kenley Jansen. That leadoff guy reaching, finally coming back to bite the Cubs here. Dodgers with that hit, still just 2 out of 13 with men in scoring position, but they've had so many chances. The Cubs have 2. They're 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. A combined 23 left on base.
Yeah, so you can point the finger at the pitchers for issuing all the walks, and you can point the finger at the hitters for not being able to take advantage of all the opportunities.
Two and 2. So we'll get word on the status of Brandon Morrow in between games today. As Wilson tries to get out of this inning with no further damage. And he does, but the damage was done. Off the bench, Kyle Farmer with a 2-run double, and the Dodgers lead 4-3 in the ninth. game. It was not a good start for him this year. He took the loss on opening day. He had 2 blown saves within his first 7 appearances, but he's been really good here really since about mid-April.
Yeah, you know, the narrative around Jansen, in spring training was that the velocity was down, and then when he struggled early, that really bubbled up. There was a lot of talk about what's wrong with Kenley Jansen, and after that bad start, he's quieted all that down with a stretch of really dominant pitching, 15 consecutive saves converted.
He's got a 104 earned run average over his last 24 appearances.
And like the great Mariano Rivera, keeps it very simple. About 90% of the time, you're going to get that cutting fastball for the left-handed hitters in on the hands.
So Farmer at first base. Muncy is now in left. Ball 1 to Ian Happ. Barnes catching. Fouled out of play. He's had a lot of success here and against the Cubs in his career. Two and two. Full count. Wilson Contreras on deck. A big right-hander on a payoff delivery. It's hit on the ground. Somebody's got a. Some reason Farmer went out of my view. Jansen did not make a break toward first, but Farmer was there. 1 out. Kyle Farmer, you're invisible to me. Here's Contreras.
Cubs empty their bench with Contreras now involved.
23rd career appearance for Jansen against the Cubs. He's got a 0.83 earned run average.
Right-handed batter sitting just 156 against him.
Contreras made his major league debut on June 17th, 2016, and then 2 days later, and I believe that was Father's Day, right? It was a Sunday night game against the Pirates. He homered as a pinch hitter. First major league plate appearance off A.J. Schugel.
May 12th, the last time Wilson has hit a home run.
These numbers are gaudy for every team, and it shows you how tough it is to win late. The Dodgers, when trailing going into the ninth, are 1-29 this season. The Cubs, with a lead entering the ninth, are 34-1. And it's up to Russell. On a bounce to Taylor, and the Dodgers steal game one. That one hurts. Cubs had that 3-2 late in the ninth. Kyle Farmer off the bench wins it on the 2-run double.
Yeah, it felt like it was going to be a game where the Cubs got away with it, with not cashing in all those early opportunities, that the pitching was going to hold up and they'd be able to hang on. Bats really went quiet towards the later stages of this game. I guess you have to tip your hat to the Dodger bullpen, and again, with Morrow not being available, tough to finish off this one. And spot on. The Dodgers have to feel like they stole one here.
So the Cubs will turn to Mike Montgomery as they try to get a split later on tonight in the regularly scheduled game. So for JD, for Kelly, and our entire NBC Sports Chicago crew here at Wrigley Field, Len Casper with your final score. The Dodgers 4 and the Cubs 3. We're back with you Thursday 5:30 for our pregame coverage in Cincinnati, Cubs and the Reds. And up next, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, post-game live. Stay tuned.